Hey, Shayla.
Anybody else want to speak to the platform? You guys can go ahead. You're welcome to speak. I got a few people I'm trying to bring up.
I want to speak, but I don't know if I had received a phone call earlier when you guys were talking about submission. So I'm just now getting back on.
You cool. You can say how you feel. We was
Okay, I
uh
think
go ahead.
I think in choosing a mate, we're all going about it wrong. And I went about it wrong also, but I had to learn to get it right. Okay. And we say, I don't want a man that doesn't have any money. I want him fit. I want him this. I want him that. But we have to display this in ourselves first. You got to have money. You got to be a working individual. Say, God said to choose a mate that you're equally yoked with. We're asking too much from these men. And we don't even compare to what we want from them for ourselves. So you have to come from yourself and choose someone that's like you. So if you don't work, don't look for no working man. If you ain't got no money, don't look for no man that got no money. God said equally yoked.
Yes.
And then another thing, and God didn't ask a man to be in submission to his wife. He said the woman be in submission to her husband and the man love his wife. He didn't ask that man to submit to that woman.
Mm.
Man is head of the house. So it's your choice of how your house is run. For example, and I hate to use this example, but you might understand it. You get a thug out there and you marry him, then don't be mad at the way your house is being run. Okay? And once we put these things in perspective, then God can take the next steps. He said, we got to step out first. He's not going to make no choices for us. See, I can sit back and say, oh, I want a man that, oh, he got a job, he got a car, he got a house, he got a bank account, he got all this. But what do you have to offer? Not that you're going to give it to the man, but you have to come from the same distance that he's coming from, equally. See? So you don't have this conflict of interest during the relationship. And this is where we get it all wrong. And yes, a woman can raise a man because you don't have to give him words. Raise him by what you doing in the house. He's looking right at you, that boy. You don't have to talk. Go to work every day. Do the things that a woman's supposed to do. He'll know the perspective that he's supposed to lead from. But this is where we make another mistake. We choose these men that don't want us, but we want them. What did the Bible say? When a man finds a wife, he finds a what? A good thing.
Mm.
See, we're out here looking for the men.
Mm-mm.
Not you. I don't even know you. I'm talking about what God said. And I'm talking about as a whole. I'm talking about as a whole, the larger part of the percentage. And what I understand about these panels, because I don't know you guys, you don't know me, but it's hard for you guys to swallow when you hear the truth. You listen to make a rebuttal. You listen so that you can talk. Take it in. Now, I told you 4 things that Christ said. Look it up, Google it. Start from there. Because a lot of us, more than half, I don't know the percentage, came from dysfunctional families. Okay? But when we start turning around God's work for us, he set it there to make it easy for who? Not for him, not for God, for you. So when you go out and you reach an age that you want a man, get yourself together. That man will recognize you.
Oh, girl.
It could be it can be in the grocery store, it could be at a red light, it could be at a gas station. See? If it's meant for you, can't nobody take it away from you anyway. But are you ready for it? And another thing God said, don't ask for something that you don't want. See, we ask for a lot of things that we're not even ready for. And then we are not productive after we get it. We can't blame that man for not staying in that relationship after he didn't got you pregnant. Now he's gone. What did he tell the woman at the well? Those 5 men that she was shacking up with, they weren't her husband either. And the man you fussing about right now ain't yours. You understand? God gave us the perspective of life and living. And what a man is supposed to bring to the table and what a woman's supposed to bring to the table. And that's why I wanted to speak to the platform that was on earlier about submission, because every one of them, or let's just say a large percentage of them, because I didn't count all of them because I got the phone call, said that a man's supposed to submit to his wife. Well, who made that up? See, a lot of things we hear on the street and we say God said.
It's in the Bible, Pam.
No, it's not. Read it. It says, women, a wife is to submit to her husband, and her husband is to love her wife, his wife. Christ, the man is supposed to submit to God. Don't tell me what the Bible says. Google it. Open that King James and read it for yourself.
Go ahead, Pam.
Because when you've got a man that's submitting to you, then he loses all authority in the house. See, the man is supposed to be head of the house. Now, if you got Joe Blow that's running your house, that's your fault. You made that choice. But if you got him, you still got to obey him because that's who you chose. So make a good choice when you get out there and start choosing. You can't blame God for that later because he's still head of the house. If he's on rugs, you knew he was when you got involved with him. If he's a drinker, you knew that too. If he's a cheater, you also knew that too. But he's head of your house where you live. See? There's only one reason once you get married to divorce him. What is that one reason? What reason is it that you can divorce your husband?
Infidelity.
Adultery. See? He didn't say if he beat you up, knocked your teeth out, put you in the hospital, can't get along, you don't like the way he's getting down. He said adultery. He said adultery. See? But we got a lot of demonic stuff going out there that we're having to deal with in this world. So, what did Christ say? When you say my name, what happens? Satan got to go. So, if you're not coming from that platform, then we can just say and do anything we like, and that's where we're at. See? So let that man choose you, and he'll take care of you. I'm gonna tell you a thing about a man. And this might be a hard pill to swallow for women. You can get out there and wear them booty shorts, and you can get out there and twerk. You can get out there and put your mascara and your false eyelashes on and your weave, and you can be looking good and smelling good. Let me tell you something. If that man has in his mind that you ain't no good, he'll be with you, but he ain't gonna marry you. He's not gonna take care of you. He'll be with you. There's a difference. See, a man wants a good woman. I'm gonna tell you about a man. If he's gonna have to go to work every day, he wants a good woman, not a woman on the street. See, we got it all twisted. We're thinking that we're entertaining this man because we got our hips hanging out, we got our cleavage showing, we got our weed to the side, ponytail, bouncing every time we walk. That ain't what he's looking at. He's looking at when I go to work, is she gonna have somebody in my house when I come home? I'm gonna tell you what's on a man's mind, because it's definitely on his. He's got to trust you to take care of you. He's got to trust you to marry you. Now think about why you got all these babies by these boyfriends in your house that you're raising, that you couldn't even keep them in the house to take care of their children. 5 or 6 boyfriend babies. He wasn't going to stay no way. And it's a hard thing. Think about it. Think about it from a man's perspective. It's a hard thing for a man to take care of somebody else's child. Now, he'll do it because he loves you. But it's a hard thing for him. We have to put props where props belong. And we can't place blame because our mamas wasn't no good, our daddies was missing, and he wasn't no good. God left you that book, that holy Bible. Get into it. He said, I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm your father. And I didn't come on here to preach, but when you use words like we're like the man, what I heard earlier, the man is supposed to submit, and all the women, yeah, he's supposed to submit. And he's supposed to be emotional. Look, let me tell you something. If a man cries in front of you with tears running down his face, that's when you need to get real quiet and still, because his ego is coming in after that. So you don't get a man to a point where he got tears running out of his face. Don't bring him down that low, because he's not emotional. That's not how he was put together. Else he'd be home with you, not working. Don't never bring a man down where he can't support you. Because that's what he was put here for, to support the woman. And the woman was supposed to be in submission of him, to care for him and his needs. So all you girls are out there playing house. He's playing it with you, but don't let him play on you. There's a difference. You think you're not going to get that man if you don't go to bed with him? You'll get him a lot faster if you don't mess with him. Tell him no. And look at the side of his mouth out of your peripheral vision and see if he ain't smiling. Because remember, if he can't get it from you, he going to get it from the girl down the street. But it don't mean he going to stay with her and take care of her. When I was coming up, those kind of girls got boyfriends at night in the dark. They weren't seen with those kind of girls in the daytime. So And it don't take mamas to tell you all this. It don't take daddies. God put it in perspective that you live a good life. God wants us to be happy and make good choices.
Thank you.
And you don't have to thank me because it ain't even coming from me. See, once you guys stop being so sarcastic and trying to prove something to another girl and being in competition with another woman, then you can get a man. They're not hard to get. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, Miss Pam. I had to say thank you because some people have this ideology that you had to grow up with it in your household in order to be it or to teach it to your children. And that's just not true because it was a lot of things that I didn't come up seeing. I didn't come from no two-parent household. I came up in a single parent household, watching my mama work 7 days a week. But my mama also became a church going woman. And I learned a lot of stuff just through the Bible. And when people say, well, you didn't have that, so you don't know how to be it, that's not true. There's a lot of things that I didn't have that I was and I became, by the grace of God and just by the desires of my heart and what I wanted. I didn't want to be nobody baby mama. I wanted to be a wife. I didn't want to be that girl that wound up pregnant in high school and didn't go to college, even though that's what I saw. I didn't follow in that. But people always want to say, "Oh, well, they didn't have it in the house. They didn't have it." Just because you didn't grow up seeing it, that don't mean you can't be it. So that's why I had to say thank you, for providing that point.
Thank you for listening. So, let me ask you this: do you have any children?
No, ma'am, I'm waiting until marriage.
Hallelujah! That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I always my mother had me at a very early age, and I didn't ever want to be nobody's baby mama. I wanted to have my children with my husband, so I didn't follow what I saw.
Amen. And I didn't either. I was a virgin when I got married. You understand what I'm saying? And then I went a step further. My mother said I was crazy, out of my mind, whatever. After I got married, I went and got me, I don't even know if I can say it. Can I?
Yeah.
I went and had an IUD and I had a husband. I didn't want no children right away. I was still protecting myself. And I wasn't on birth control when I was young. I was scared of mom and them. Okay? And those are the women, and I'm not saying just me, those are the women that the men are going to marry. Now, they'll go with you all day long, those other ones. So don't think that they're doing something that you're missing out on, because you're not.
Miss Pam, what
And
do you think about our expectations that we put on men to be
too
okay?
high, they're too high.
Thank you.
Because do you know a millionaire, and then what is, I don't know the word now, you want a millionaire, but do you have $1 million yourself?
I want to ask you something too, Miss Pam, because I come from a different generation, and what I'm seeing a lot today is the women who are out there fornicating and messing around, and they're pretty much whoremongers, and they having two and three different baby daddies. Those are the ones who are getting married before the Christian girls who are celibate, waiting, righteous women, classy women. It seems like the ones that's in the streets or that, had a wild past, they getting wifed up before the women that are not like that. What's your input on that, Miss Pam?
Okay, and that's a good question, because I look at it like this: how are you sure that they're married? You're going to their marriage with all their illegitimate children there in the wedding? A woman can tell you anything. And is he equally yoked with that woman? Or is she, let's put it like this, is she giving him money, a house, and on food stamps, so he's eating well, he's eating her food stamps up, he's driving her car, she's paying the bills? Is that what kind of relationship they got?
Some of these women, I know them personally, and some of them, they do get good men. Even though they've been in the streets and they've been wild, they do get men. And it seems like it takes the women who are celibate and trying to do it right and just waiting. Like they're
You don't know what they're doing for that man. You see what I'm saying? If a man gets a woman that says to him he does not have to work, he ain't finna go to work. If he runs into a woman that gives him money, then what is he going to work for? If he can stay at home and play the video game and be there when she gets off of work and drive her car all day long with other girls in the car and then pick her up on time to get off of work. Okay. I don't know what's going on in other people's homes, but I'm going to tell you like this. That's what kind of brothers is out there. So you better be able to select one that ain't going down like that. Those aren't the men you want to marry. You don't want a man that then got with a woman that got 5 baby daddies, and all those daddies are knocking at the door. And do you know once you've been there, they can come back? Those men know they can still get that woman that got that baby by him. So that real husband don't want to see all those men at his door to just see Paul and John and Sarah and Pookie. You see what I'm saying? Because then you're gonna have a problem with that real husband that don't have no children by you at all yet. Okay.
And I would like to add to that. A lot of times I think in this society, in this the time we live in, a lot of women feel like they're running out of time where there's no hope.
No.
But the thing about it is, if you keep God first, He's always on time. And Lady London knows me personally. I'm 37 years old and I just got married at 36. I do not have any children, and I had a few requirements before. Thank you. I had a few requirements that me and Lady Money talk about all the time before I allowed my husband to select me. I didn't select him. He selected me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so it took me going through a lot of bad relationships and not getting the consequences that I wanted when I was dating. So I got to a point in my life where I said, I know what I deserve. I know what my value is, and I know how I present myself as a woman. And I always knew I was supposed to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men I ran into, I don't think that they can handle knowing that they're with not just a normal girl. You with wifey material. And that's why those relationships didn't work out, because they wasn't supposed to. And so I always tell Lady London, she knows when I started dating my husband, I told him we're not going to be intimate until married, till we get married. And a lot of women will tell a man that, but then you put yourself in situations where you can easily give that up. See, a lot of women say, "Oh, I'm not going to have sex before marriage," but you can't put that man in a situation where it's going to make you go back on that.
Right.
You have to be conscious of where you at and how things play out. Meaning, we're not going to be spending the night at each other's house
Yeah.
after a certain time. No,
Yeah.
you have to leave, okay? And I will see you in the morning.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? If we kissing, we're not gonna be doing all that heavy kissing because we know that leads to other things. We won't be doing that.
That's it.
Not during this time period. But it takes a lot of focus and discipline. And
And
I just want,
courage.
yes, and I want women to know, especially women like Lady London and other men too, that your person is out there waiting for you. And, I get little comments of, well, you're 37, you don't have any kids, your eggs is drying up. Baby, let me tell you something. What God has for you ain't my eggs is fine. They just fine.
That's
And when
right.
God's ready for me to use them, I will have children.
That's
Okay.
it. That's
So
right.
it's time out here, and you have to think about it like an apple tree. The best apples are at the top. So when you the best, it takes a person to reach up. You know, God put you at the top. He wants the
Yeah,
best for you. So
that's
you're
right.
not gonna just be on the bottom of the tree where the apples fall to the ground. That's leftovers.
That's
So
right.
you top supreme. And so a lot of people, when we get on this internet, we say stuff like what you said, Miss Pam, and what Lady London said, like no sex before marriage. They go ham on you. Well, how you know if it's good? You don't know. Da, da, da. Well,
Mhm.
see, that lets me know you're not ready to be a wife because you're not reserved enough.
That's right.
You're not reserved. See, a man knows when he has. He watch you in a different way. Everything you
Yeah.
said, Pam. Me and my husband had a conversation. Everything you said, he told me. He said he watched how I dress. He said he been on
Mhm.
dates with women where he made reservations and he couldn't take them to the restaurant because of how they was dressed. Their breasts was out there, but he said he couldn't do it. He said he watched how I spent my money and how I did my own hair sometimes or do
Mhm.
my own nails. Sometimes he watched my finances. He
Mhm.
said he watched how I carried myself in public. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If he this man was watching me, y'all, more than I knew it.
Yes.
But I was just being me. You know what I'm saying? The good
Right.
me. I'm a good person. So a
Yeah.
man can see through all that riffraff, even though we have these, 304s over here doing all that stuff. Let me tell you, they'll always get a man, but they'll never be able to keep him.
No, they
They
won't.
may get a husband, but that husband's gonna be cheating on them and going elsewhere. It looks
Yeah.
good from
They
the
all
outside,
will.
but we never know what they're doing on the inside. It
That's right.
always looks that way. They can get a man, but they'll never be able to keep him. You know why? Because they're not of quality. And I hear a lot of men say that there's not a lot of quality women out here. And I hate to say it, I do think it
Exactly.
just as much as it's slim pickings for women to men, it's slim pickings from men to women. It is not a lot out here that's of quality because people are so heavily influenced by this social media.
Well, I told my husband when we met, man, hallelujah. Well said. I told my husband I didn't want to be a whore because I don't even know how. So he already knew where I was coming from. You understand? No, but that doesn't mean a man's not gonna test you with your words. He gonna see if you true to your word.
Exactly. That's why I said women don't need to put themselves in situations where they think they may cross themselves on the thing you trying to make this man uphold. My husband said he never had a woman tell him that they wanted to wait the marriage or wait to have sex. He said he never had it. Most women would be ready to give it up. He said
Right?
that day he said he fell for me a little bit more. He said it made me respect me a little bit more. He was shocked. He said he loved it. It was a challenge for him.
Yes, yes.
I be trying to tell the ladies like y'all like if y'all don't know if y'all like wait a little bit up on it, you gonna be. I promise stuff will be more. It'll be like more clear for you. Like whatever that path is, it'll get a little bit more clear for you.
Because you don't
Yeah.
have all these emotions tied up in you trying to see what's in front of you. See, when a woman holds back from opening up her legs, it protects her heart. Little did she know she can see a little bit more clearly. She ain't sucked into that lust. So when
Well,
you
you
ain't
gotta.
got none of that going on, you can see clearly.
Yeah,
Well,
like
first you gotta know what a player looks like, and you gotta know how he comes at you. So you gotta
Mm-hmm.
know. You gotta know the game. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been married for over 40 years. You understand what I'm saying? How old do you think I am? I'm a grown woman. And when I say it, I mean grown. I'm 71 years old. And
And
I know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
lady,
I
you
wasn't
said
at the club. Mama didn't let me go to the club. When those lights came on outside, I had to be in the house. I have
lady,
I
you
have
said go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go
I'll
ahead.
read
I'm
it.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lady Leonard put in the comment, people have too many options. Let
Don't
me tell
you?
you something, sister. There's a lot of, let me tell you, it's like this. There's a lot of different, many, how this lady told you, there's many different loaves of bread on the shelf, many different brands of bread on
Yeah.
the shelf, but only one will get chosen. And there's many different brands of bread on the shelf, but only one will get
And
chosen.
I'm glad you brought that up. Check this out. This is so good. My husband said one day I came home with this loaf of bread and he said, I don't know why you be buying that cheap bread. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of loaves of bread up there to choose from.
I want to say to that, when I say people have too many options, dating is not consistent like it used to be back in the day. You can't even really enjoy dating like you used to. And what I notice is now we have a lot of this social media stuff, and people are always somewhere entertaining somebody else. A lot of men and women really don't have to put in the footwork, especially men, to really gain access to a woman, because a person can be dating you and dating 10 other people and entertaining 10 other people. Back then, it wasn't really like that. You
Oh,
didn't
but it
have,
was,
Oh, it
girlfriend.
was like that. It was like that. And see, the thing about a lady is a man is only going to do what you allow him to do. It don't matter if he talking to
Hello.
12 girls, but he don't get to talk to you. You see,
Hello.
that's why you have to be the reserved one. Okay.
right, right.
So
I
we, you know what I'm
understand that.
saying? Like you can that oh, I know where you're coming from. That type of love, that type of courting, you can get that from men because you were request you can request that for the men. It's like when I requested, hey, I'm not having sex before marriage. And if a man respects you and he's for you, he's gonna do exactly what you want because he
He
respects you,
gonna
because
do
he
it.
see you respecting
Yeah,
yourself. He will
that's
do
it.
it.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't care how much of a gentleman I am, and I am a gentleman. I promise you. If it presents itself, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna take it. I gotta take it. No, not take it. I mean, my bad choice word. But if it presents itself, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go my move.
Well,
Well,
different folks, different strokes. It depends on what
let
kind
him
of relationship.
explain that,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna tell you what. Let him go on and get on out there and grow up. Check it out. Check it out. Because he has to grow up too. So if he's using those other girls how to how to get down and how to put it down and how to, sweet talk,
Yeah.
let him get his experience with those girls out in the street. But when he come at you, he already know the game. So,
Like somebody just said, we know who to come at in a certain type of manner and who not to come at in a certain type of manner. And if they come at you in a certain in that certain type of manner that you feel like you ain't aligned with, that's just how they feel. Like that's how dudes feel about you. To be honest with you.
well, sure, that's how they feel, and that's what they can say out of their mouths. But check this out. Every boy or every man that's out there wants to be satisfied. But it doesn't mean that he wants to take you on as being a wife and be responsible for you.
Oh, for sure. So,
You see what I'm saying?
Drop so somebody else could come up. Lady, it was nice being on the panel. You thank you, host, for inviting me up. Host been
Thank,
mighty quiet
thank,
today.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming. I'm just letting y'all. I thank you so much for coming up.
Been mighty quiet today. I listen, know some gems was dropped.
We've been here for a little while. I'm just listening to everybody. I love everybody here just with their perspectives. I appreciate it.
All right, then. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night,
and thank you
girl.
Coming
for
Good
up.
coming.
night. Nice seeing you.
And I only came on your panel because these are the things that women in general need to hear. Because a lot of the women and girls out there are perpetrating. Okay? A lot of them are just as lonely as you are, but they're not letting on that that's what's happening. Let the man chase you. These girls out here are chasing these men hard and heavy.
Yep, they are. And
Hard and heavy and fast.
when you out there chasing, you're gonna wind up with the wrong man. I tell women that all the time. You out there looking, you're gonna find something that you don't want to keep and that you don't want to have. I always let the man come pick you and choose you. You don't get out there and run after nobody. But some women were raised to be male centered and to overly cater to men. And those type of women wind up getting hurt in the end. If that's not your husband, you don't have no business catering to that person.
That's true. I've gone on a lot of panels, and I was just shocked at the women that were in their 50s. Let's just say in their 50s and down. They're laying in the bed with a blanket on top of them, talking on a panel with the camera on them. See, but these are cafe women. I'm not going to compete with them. You see what I'm saying? There are different levels to women. They're still trying to find a man. But look what kind of men they're going to entertain. Laying in the bed on the panel with their blanket up to their chest, got their hair combed and they got on full makeup. They got their breasts hanging out and they trying to be sexy. I mean, it just floored me. I saw one lady, she said she was 61, she got a tongue ring. Come on now.
Stop.
Now, if I'm noticing all these things, just know that a real man is too. And he knows if you've been out there in them streets. So just go by what God has prepared for you. He said, I have prepared a place for you. And I will never leave you. So if you want a man, pray about it. He'll send you somebody. But don't ask for something that you ain't ready for.
I also want to add to that too, though. I feel like a lot of people not doing too is doing that shadow work and learning themselves and figuring out what make them happy, what make them motivated, what make them, whatever the case may be. And they trying to fill that hole with hurrying up and trying to find somebody else to fill that, to teach them how to live their own life, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does. So
You know,
we've got a lot of broken men out there. So, I mean, are you going to be the woman that can, sit through that challenge?
I feel like I feel like you should meet somebody. You should always meet somebody healed. You should meet somebody halfway where y'all both trying to figure out, you know, where y'all both trying to figure out, like, what's this trigger? Why I keep getting triggered by this little thing? Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that's equally yoked. Find someone that's like you. See, and I wish that I could talk to um a panel of one gender and then the next day talk to the other gender. But see, the thing is that you have to remember I'm married. My husband ain't liking me getting on these panels talking to these men because he already know what time of day it is. He know players is on the panel, but he knows me. So look what I told you from the beginning. He supports what I say. He's not in submission to me. But if he were to ask me to get off, then what do I have to do? I have to get off. Because he's taking care of me. I'm not taking care of him. See? But remember, these girls that are out here in these streets, they're bossing them men around. That's why they get beat up.
Wait a minute, Miss Pam. Is the men getting beat up or the women getting beat up?
Women,
Both.
both of them.
Both.
They get beat up by each other.
That girl didn't learn how to fight because she didn't got hit so many times. But yeah, that. See, I'm real about I mean, if you're not even strong enough to listen to what I'm saying, you ain't ready for no kind of marriage. You ain't even ready for no kind of relationship. Because I'm real about what I'm saying. But I tell you what, it's gonna look altogether different when we get these cafe women on the panel and they're all talking at the same time, trying to scream me off the panel. Yeah, yeah. One lady told me, what she say, you're old and I don't have to respect you, B. F you, with your menopausal self. I mean, this is what, I mean, come on now. But I didn't take it to heart. I didn't take it to heart because I already thought of where you're coming from, and you probably talked to your own mother like that. See, we have to remember a lot of people came from different walks of life. See? So, and if you really want to know about a man, let him talk to you and you listen.
That's right. He'll tell on himself. They do
There
it
it
every
is.
time.
Every time. Every time.
Yes. Only take 5 minutes, Miss Pam.
Mhm. And that's why they don't do a lot of talking. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier today on the phone when I got that phone call, and I said, I'm just like my husband. You know, he's quiet, and so am I. I do what he do. So when he looks at me, he sees himself. So we don't do a lot of fussing and arguing in this house because he ain't gonna fuss with himself. And see, that cuts back on a lot of argument. But if you coming at this man sideways, he can meet you there. And he's always going to win. Remember that part. Because he's head of the house. See, and what we got to teach our girls, stop trying to get up in these men's face thinking you can beat them up. Even the smallest man will give you a whooping. Knock your feet out, blacken your eyes, bust your lip, drag you by your hair. I don't care what size he's a man. And he's stronger than you.
That's right. I don't know where they get that mess from, Miss Pam, because I tell women, a man can put you in the hospital. I don't try to fight men. If I'm that threatened by you, before I try to throw hands with you, baby, you're gonna have to meet Charlie. You're gonna have to meet Charlie. You're gonna have to meet some hot fish grease, some hot oil or something. If you're really that much of a threat to me. But as far as throwing hands with a man, and some women will say, oh, girl, you can't fight with no man, honey. A man will put you in a hospital bed.
That's right. And learn by a man. Talk to him about SA. I think that's how you say it, or SS. Talk to him about it and see his approval on some of that stuff. Do you think my husband would say, "Yeah, go get you a tongue ring"? No, he's not gonna approve of that. Not that he don't want no tongue ring, but he don't want his wife with no tongue ring. You understand what I'm saying? See, and all these girls making these different moves and stuff and doing all this, having this XSSX activity. When you're done doing all that stuff to that man, he's talking about you in his mind and to his boys.
Where she get all that from?
Ooh, you, you say
Where she
you
get all that from? She must have been out there, honey. That's why you listen.
and he's enjoying it, but he gonna still say you ain't no good.
Yes, that's why I tell women, you wait until you marry that man, then you whip all the stuff out on him.
And that's what God said. Everything you do after marriage is good. But before marriage, it's not. Okay? So we have to know our perspective. We have to know who we are. I wouldn't even get on a TikTok or whatever this place is called. 60-something years old with talking loud and your mouth wide open with a tongue ring. You look foolish. So I already know what kind of woman she is. And other people see these things. Just remember, you're being mirrored at all the time. At all times, someone sees you. You may not see them seeing you, but they see you. And that's everybody, everywhere. And so is that man. You know what store you go to. He saw you in there looking at the vegetables. He's trying to figure out, are you going to come back next week at 2:00? A man can almost look at you and tell if you're single or if you're married without a ring or anything like that. See, a man ain't going to approach you if he know he can't get you. He is not going to embarrass himself. So some door opened up from you that let that man come to you. I don't want no man to come to me. You understand what I'm saying?
There's a comment, and I'm curious from the men. It's in the comments. A man says, "I don't think there are many men who will marry a woman without first having relations with her." The men are on the panel. There's what? Two men. Question for you all: would you marry a woman if you have not had relations with her?
Well, I did. I did.
No, I'm asking the men.
Oh, and they will. My
No,
husband,
they didn't answer, Miss Pam.
they
Not
ain't
one
gonna
of
answer.
Miss
They
Pam.
ain't
They
gonna
didn't.
answer.
We can let the young man up top. Black boy, you want to
They
talk to?
answer, black boy.
You there? No, he might not be there. Go ahead.
It's all on you then.
Okay, he might not be there. Uh,
He said,
yeah, I will. I will.
you wasn't convincing. I'm sorry. You was not convincing.
Yeah.
I try to be careful with my input by me being the host, so I just try to sometimes interject and then sometimes just fall back. I really like Miss Pam coming with her aspect and Miss Lady London. Everybody here, they called. I driving that last. I appreciate you guys being here. It's okay for the man to listen sometime. I'm just listening. I'm just sitting back listening to all the good information that we cooking up. Now, what your question was again? Go ahead. What you say? I talk. I answer. What you say? You said would I marry somebody I haven't slept with?
In the comments, a gentleman said, the mayor, 718 says, wait a minute, that's not him. One of the gentlemen said, oh, yeah, the mayor, 718 says, I don't think there are many men who would marry a woman without having relations,
He
without first having relations with her.
he right.
You
It's
being
it's
honest?
some it's some out it's some out there, but most won't.
That's all.
It's
It has to
it's a
be.
challenge. It's a challenge because it's ego.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
really, it has to be more of a God fearing man that goes by the Bible. A lot of these worldly men, they're not going to do it. But if you have your God fearing man that's going by that Bible and that was raised up by the church, not a fake and a phony, because you got some folks that was raised up in the church, but they ain't living life like they was raised in the church. But a true man of God will wait. A lot of these men that's out there in the world, they're the ones that's gonna have the biggest issue with it.
I I think maybe I shouldn't say nothing.
Go ahead. We want to hear you.
Answer. Say it.
I okay. The first test to test whether a man is for real is to stay abstinent, get to know him, right? But tell him, hey, I'm waiting till marriage and see what he does.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. So
Hmm.
if y'all want me to keep it real,
Yes.
Yeah.
if she a virgin, more men will wait. If she not, he don't. What people do is they'll preach God and then they'll take it off themselves. So if she coming pure, why wouldn't he wait? She worth the wait.
But if he done
But
gave it up,
what
he
if
wondering why you not giving it up to me?
Yeah, because
Right.
you got to be careful when you preach God, because you start to leave. It starts to become subjective. So if you got a woman that's carrying herself a first way, a certain type of way, she gonna demand a certain type of energy.
Hmm.
The man have dominion. he could break that down, but the universe and God principles to protect that young lady. You can't come to me with the God complex and you out here, doing all this other things under the sun and then expecting me to be a certain type of way. His
That's
integrity, a man can house a certain level of integrity also. So he don't have to be compromised neither. Some men don't just run around. He feel it's just as special as the lady may feel. She got a gym in her presence of what she feel, how important that is. There's men out here that don't just sling it everywhere also. Some
right.
men got integrity too. And you got to come some to get access to him too. And not just with his money neither. Everybody ain't laying pipe like a plumber. Some of us, but not us, but some people are, but not all of us.
Yeah, so here's the thing, in my opinion, right? Because I found myself single not by choice, but as a widow. And I had to really sit with myself and ask myself, how am I going to navigate these streets, right? And my conclusion is that one, I'm not doing the dating thing. I'm just not doing it. That's a waste of time and energy. I would rather be courted. That's a completely different thing. And it's going towards marriage. And there's stages to it, right?
Mhm.
So the idea that a young lady is dating this guy, right? 2 weeks later, some of them don't even wait 2 weeks. It's like the same night they're doing it, right? And they are, they are. And then another 2 weeks passes, there's another guy and another guy. That is so unclean and impure. That's why you see people having this so many double-mindedness. It's because sex connects you to another person spiritually. I don't care what you say, whether you see it as a spiritual thing or whether you see it chemically in a form of energy, you are tying yourself to somebody. And as women, we are vessels where those things are being dumped into us. So we're carrying this man's DNA, that man's DNA, the other man's DNA, everybody's DNA. That's ridiculous. So it has to come to a place where women, even if there's a risk that you're not going to have that many suitors, you have to clean yourself up, and you have to put a standard and say, you know what, I'm going abstinent and I know I'm not a virgin, yes, and people are going to use that against me, yes, but I'm going to clean myself up. And for me, I'm not going to give myself away unless it's my husband. It's hard and it's painful, but it's the right thing to do. Ladies, what do you think?
To be honest, these men will use anything against you that they can to get you to compromise yourself. And I've learned that if you don't have no children, they'll say, okay, well, you are a virgin. I had a conversation with my dad, and we were talking about how in today's time, in 2025, it's pointless to ask women that question if they are a virgin, because Generation Z and even Generation X is a very free generation, but especially Generation Z. And then my thought was like, it's just pointless to ask a woman that question. Now I can see a man being concerned that you haven't been around. I can understand a man not wanting a woman that have been around, but they'll go in any way to try to get you to compromise yourself. Oh well, I don't want to wait on you because you done already slept with somebody. They'll say and do anything, but as long as you as a woman stand strong on what you say and believe in, because you can get into God at any time and decide to do things the right way and what pleases him. Long as you don't allow that man to sway you out of it, because he want what he wants, and he want to make you feel like you should unfold and compromise because of what you did in your past, or because you may have been with one person or a couple of people when he could have been with half of the city, half of the state. Why? We not we not doing it. I stand up in their face quick and I tell them, I don't care what you say. I hit the block button on you. I block you out of my phone, and I get you far away from me, and I won't ever talk to you again. I don't put up with no foolishness from no man. You gonna either get it together, I'm gonna put you on a block list, and when I see you out in public, I'm gonna act like I don't know who you are. You know.
Well, I think what we have to do is stop teasing the man, because a man's not going to come at you knowing that you're not going to give it up. So you
Some of them
tease
will
him, you
try.
let him. Okay, let me just finish this thought because I will forget. Um, you let him come over every day. You're sitting there, not even watching TV, but the TV is on. You're letting him fondle you, but you're not going to give it up. Don't tease that man like that. Not only teasing him can be rude and disrespectful, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You get a man all worked up and then you tell him, well, it's time for you to go home because, see, like I'm a virgin and I'm not just going to go there. You may get beat up. You may get draped. You may get draped, however way you guys want to say it on the TikTok. But be real
Ma'am,
careful. Be real careful when you're trying to seduce a man.
But can I say something, Miss Pam? And especially, I'm gonna just say in today's time, you
But
don't.
today is what I'm talking about.
Okay, but you don't have to tease a man in order for him to try it. Some of them will still try you, and you could be a classy woman, you could be fully dressed, well covered, a decent woman, and some of them will still try. Some of these men are very bold.
Yeah, but the atmosphere. I have a son. I have a son. And I'm thinking he'll probably go with anybody. You understand? He's 6'4", and he's a nice looking man, very intelligent, and he has lots of girlfriends. Okay? But they set him up. They got the music low, they got the wine already there, they got the trees already rolled, They're setting him up. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand that, but me just speaking from experience as a woman, I've had times where I've had the most weirdest and most uncomfortable situations where I was just doing business, with a man. Didn't ever say anything to him to turn him on, didn't ever flirt with him, and next thing I know, here comes this very weird and perverted out the blue. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there looking like, what is wrong with you, or where is this coming from? Some of these men, they do operate in the spirit of perversion. They are extremely weird, and they will try you. You don't have to put yourself out there as a woman to get tried. You could be respectable. You could be classy. You could be well dressed. You don't have to flirt. Some of these men will still try it, especially in this time, because a lot of these men, um, they don't really have actual discipline. A lot of these men is weird. From the previous generation of men, like those that were born in the 60s and 70s. A lot of these today men, they're very weird, in my opinion. So you don't have to put yourself out there as a woman for a man to try you. They bold today. They will still try you.
Yeah, but you got to remember you're coming in contact with men that have experience. Okay? And it's your aura that they're testing. And if you don't stand firm on it, see, you got to remember, you got to put yourself in check.
Yes, ma'am. I'ma always put my foot down, but I'm just
You're not
saying.
putting your foot down. It shouldn't even come. You should have saw the signs before the signs made themselves available. You should have saw the signs.
So I
no,
should have saw.
this is why dating doesn't work because from what I've heard from men, right? And men correct me if I'm wrong, right? I've heard that a man asks you on a date primarily because of how you look. They first look at you, size you up, they'd be like, oh, let me take her on a date. And apparently, when you're on that date, they're still thinking about you sexually, right? And
Right.
so if that's the case, sir, I do not need to be in your presence. What we need to be doing, oh, and then they get upset when they spend hundreds of dollars a week on women and they didn't get some. So what we need to be doing is we need to be talking to get to know each other to see if we're compatible for marriage before we even go on that date. Okay? So
But
you
you
don't
said,
waste your money, I don't waste my time, and there's no temptations.
And see, when you say see the sign, sometimes that first moment of disrespect is your sign, and that's when you get to going. Sometimes I don't really, if I just met you and we ain't been knowing each other for that long, and in the beginning I see you doing some creepy stuff, some perverted stuff, that's my first sign and red flag to get on about my business. But I can't control what you do as a man, because again, these men in Gen Z are different.
so after you saw this, did you see him again?
No ma'am.
Okay.
No
But
ma'am. That's
see, this is the first thing with the girl that just talked last. Don't spend a man's money. Don't take it. Have your own money. Have your own spending money. Don't accept bracelets and necklaces and shopping. Okay? Because a man expects something in return because he is weird. And he learned that from the streets. Say, don't take anything he's got.
But later was saying that, it can be unprovoked. But Pam, I do get your point. Women play themselves all the time because you came in with a scheme and you thought that he wasn't gonna peep it. So
Yes.
so it make me lose respect. I'm one of those people where I'm gonna put my best foot forward. I got a lot of trauma. I learned the game through what women respond to. So I don't care nothing about what sound good to you. Out of respect for the ladies in the house, I won't talk how I usually talk. I don't know if y'all can handle it. But they play themselves. And we all see the host content.
Mm-hmm.
He revealed female nature all the time. He's super famous for that. The whole world see his content. So women play themselves, and then you play victim when the world is your oyster and you can have whatever man you want to. I'm a man. I ain't going on no date with you. You gotta like me. What I'm paying for you to audition for you to like me? That's crazy. Where I come from, Memphis, Tennessee, we say that's square shit. It's lame. So I come from a different world, but I also know the value of a quality woman, like I stated in the chat earlier. A quality woman, a lot of the time, don't get tried like that. I can understand we're in a different generation, but this the crazy part about the society. Say men are weird and perverted, but those same men are the men who got all the women. So somebody lying, man, because the men going the square route trying to do everything right is the only ones getting played.
But what kind what, sure, he's got all the women, but what kind of women does he have?
Same ones that's supposed to be classy. Come on, man. You know
No,
what's
no,
going on. You know
that's
what's
not
going on.
true. That's not true. That's not true. You know
That
it's
is, that is true behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on. You know what
no,
I'm saying?
that's not
But
true. That's
no,
not
Miss
true.
Miss Pam, before I land my plane, because I don't want to say too much, but you know, a lot of women get on the internet and say a lot of things, but for the fellas, we know what's going on behind closed doors. So it sounds politically correct to get a guy that's doing everything right, but he don't stimulate her like the guy who ain't politically correct, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's the man that she entertaining behind the scenes while she in public with this guy that do everything right. And the whole time he's being unfulfilled and not respected. That goes on a lot of the time. So
Okay.
they might not
Okay.
be all of the time, but we see it a lot. I'm gonna land my plane with that. I don't want to say too much, ladies, on this.
I want
Nah,
to
you okay, bro? We in
Yes,
here having
yes,
grown
you're
people
okay.
Thanks.
conversation. You can come in and speak your piece. We appreciate anybody that's in here that can have grown conversation. Everybody
Yes.
here have a grown conversation. I love it. Go ahead, Miss Pam.
Um, what I was saying about
You
that,
know,
okay,
you know,
that happens on a daily occurrence. Just like the young man that just finished speaking. But when you go on a date or you meet someone that you really want to be with, teach her how to respect you. Teach her. Don't sit all up under her, and don't let her sit all up under you. Look at her when you're talking to her. You can't talk to nobody that's all up under your arms. If she's got on something provocative, tell her to go change clothes. Why you got that on, sis? What's up?
They call that controlling.
Well, it's not controlling if the girl likes you. She's gonna say, I wonder why you said that.
There's self-respect. There's self-respect, and that's the problem. That's why I said I'm glad I grew up in a third world country like Memphis, Tennessee, because everything's just right up. Either you like me or you don't, baby. What you doing? And you don't like me, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Ain't nothing to talk about. That's the culture that I come from. It ain't no in between the lines, and you can't pretend like you fuck with me. Either you do or you don't. See, but people who come from other cultures where y'all maybe have money and time to waste, life too hard around me. We trying to survive and thrive. We ain't got time to be playing no games with you. So yeah, everybody need to entertain who they really want. Women need to entertain who they really want. Men shouldn't complain about that. Let them have what they want, and we focus on bettering ourselves. I do want to address the pump too. Real love from what I've seen. I know some real men of God of integrity, and not even men who are religious or spiritual, but they're good to their women. They treat them right, and they go through the ebbs and flows of life together because the woman knows that their man cares about them and he down for them. So society, let's call a spade a spade. If you want to be your 304, be a 304. Women know what a 304 is. Men don't. I know. But these women know what a real 304 is. If you want to be a professional long-term 304, be my guest. But in reality, just like I got to deal with the ebbs and flows of your emotions, you got to deal with the ebbs and flows of life as far as finances. Because even if you want to be a successful entrepreneur or in anything that got to do with money or success, it's going to have ebbs and flows. That's how life goes.
I want to say something too, a comment that he made because he was saying classy women shouldn't be constantly approached like that by men. And I want to say this, as a real true classy woman, you shouldn't be getting constantly approached like that by men. But the point that I was trying to make is that some men will still try you. It doesn't matter how much of a classy woman you are, a woman of God, some men will still try you. And I've seen it with this younger generation of men. A lot of people, well, I'm not say a lot, but some people try to make it like the men that are in Gen Z, which would stop at age 27. I don't know if I'm 18 or 27 or what, but it's the younger generation of men. They try to make it like those men are like the men from back in the day, and they're not. Their mental is not even like the men from back in the day. Some of the men in Gen X, their mental is not even like men from back in the day. A lot of them were not raised to really respect the woman and be providers and protectors. A lot of them were. They didn't have their fathers or strong mother figure in the household to properly teach them. So yeah, I'm not saying it shouldn't be constant for you, but you could very much so be a classy woman and still be tried. And I want to say I saw a video of Taraji P. Henson a few weeks
When you
ago.
say, can I ask you a question, Lady London? Somebody in the comments asked, when you say be tried, what do you mean?
I mean, like a man coming at you in a disrespectful or sexual way. You can still be tried. A man will still attempt to disrespect you, even though you're a player. Still try to see if he can get over on you. That's what I mean. But what I want to say is I saw a video of Taraji P. Henson a few weeks ago. We all know Taraji P. Henson. She's a very classy woman. You know, Taraji P. Henson got a good reputation about herself. And the way that I saw these black men talk to Taraji and treat Taraji while she was just standing outside waiting for her car. She was waiting on whoever was coming supposed to pick her up. You know, these celebs and actors, they have drivers. And the way that these men treated Taraji, like she was just some regular ratchet on the streets. And I'm like, this Taraji P. Henson. These are the same type of actions that everyday women see and witness from black men, but they were treating Taraji P. Henson like that, and they knew that was Taraji P. Henson. They didn't have that utmost respect for her. They were almost really silent, making her uncomfortable and harassing her. But people think that just because you a classy woman or you carry yourself well, that won't happen to you or that you can't get that. But that can very much so happen to you. Some of these men, they on pills, they on substances, they on all kind of stuff these days.
You saw a video. That was a video.
Yeah, that was a video of Taraji P. Henson. She was standing outside of waiting on her car. That was a real life video. This wasn't no movie. And the way that they treated Taraji, I'm like, dang, that's the stuff that everyday women deal with and go through a black man. I'm like, and they knew it was Taraji P. Henson because they kept saying her name, and someone was asking could she get a picture, but they were not treating her in a respectable manner the way a black queen should be treated. So that goes to show you when it comes down to Negroes and Pookies and Ray Rays and certain type of men, there you could be the classiest woman on earth. They will still try you. They will still disrespect you. It shouldn't be a continuously thing. What I'm saying is that it can happen, and it's not your fault because it happened. Because sometimes women think, oh, it's something I'm doing. Sometimes it's not something you're doing. It's that man. It's that person. Because they're disrespectful. They're a hood rat. Sometimes it's that individual. It's not you.
Yeah, but London,
I wanted.
London, this is the thing. Like the brother that's talked at the bottom, do you think you could deal with a brother like that?
I don't
And
know him.
I don't even know him. I just know what he just said. Can you, London?
I just by me listening to him, I would say that's not somebody I would date. Not saying he's a bad person, but just from that little intake of me hearing him, I can't say that was somebody I would really just date, or really just associate myself with, you know.
I wanted to say this real quick. We know that obviously anything is possible. So like if y'all look during the mid 2000s and during the late 2000s, going in like the 2020s, they did a lot of social experiments. And it was a couple companies.